How was it writing the book? Was it an enjoyable process?
It was a long process because I'd done one before, but I think the one I'd done before was really instigated and driven by some agents who maybe didn't have my best interests at heart, but at the time, it was going very well for me in respects of popularity, so I think they was trying to take advantage of that. But this is a book that was a long time in the making. A lot of people were asking me about doing a new book, and I wasn't really ready up until, these guys asked me, Little Brown. And, I felt like I had a lot of things to say, a lot of things to get off my chest. And in the times leading up to actually getting this book done, I had to right a lot of wrongs. The family, I told them I'm going to be talking about things that a lot of them are going to be uncomfortable with. But, if I'm going to do the book, it's going to have to be worth people's while. If people are going to actually go and spend money, and now a book's being nominated, just to be nominated is an honour, really. Then you want to make sure that people are getting value for their money, and there's nothing I've not held back in there. And it was quite a good experience for me. It was an empowering thing for me, and I got a lot off my chest.
Was it an emotional experience going through highs and lows?
Yeah, it was. It was, simply because I've been through a lot of highs and lows. I had a lot of obviously, I'd say lows when I was younger. I didn't realise when I was younger how unhappy I was until I got older and was able to start experiencing the world and find out why I've got certain feelings and why I was angry as I was, and why I needed certain tuition in respect of worldly ways. That's why my teacher, Mr. Pigden, he's the person who I dedicated the book to, because he was the first male role model in my life that actually cared about me, and we've got a great relationship. Who genuinely loved me from a young age and had a lot of faith in me. So, that was nice to be able to give him that recognition, because he was majorly important in my life.
There's an amazing chapter on Rocky as well.
Yeah, David Rocastle. We grew up on the same estate. And, I was 4 years older than David, and we grew up on the Honour Oak estate. And he was a fantastic footballer, and at the time I was, when he was 14, 15, he was travelling to Arsenal on a weekly basis, to obviously, because he was an apprentice, and I was still not doing anything, 19, 20, getting ready to try and do something, and I was still doing silly stuff, and it's in the book, the stuff I was doing. But he was professional, and he was an inspiration to our whole area, let alone to older people like myself. So when David made it, and I used to meet him on a regular basis, when he used to be going over the bridge to get the 171 to Stoke Newington, and I was going to gallivant and do stupidness, and he would give me a real roasting and a blasting about wasting your talent and wasting your ability. He said I play with players that are not as good as you. So, in the end, we end up playing Arsenal together, and it's like I say, the game when we beat Southampton on my debut 4-1, and I scored a hat trick and David scored the other one, was the greatest 90 minutes I've ever played in a football match.
Is there any advice you'd give to other sports guys who might be thinking about writing a book? You perhaps weren't ready to write a book earlier on. You're ready to write one now. What would you tell them about that?
I'd say to them, just be honest and frank. What I mean? Like I said, I don't leave anything out there. If you're going to do it, because if ideally, if I could have, this would have been the only book I'd have wrote. And I'm so happy with it. Like I said, I'm very proud that my life stories got me into a situation where I'm nominated with these fantastic people. So I'm quite pleased about that. All I would say to people is just be very honest and very frank with people, because the journey that you've been on might be able to inspire or help somebody who's maybe going through the same as you, but may not have the same chances that you have, or same avenues for you to get to success. So you can still inspire them to do what they want to do.
I'll have to ask you, what about Arsene?
And it's not, I just hope that he could get a lot more support from upstairs than he's had. If that could happen, I'm sure that he could be successful.
All right. Let that die down a second. Could we just get you to a piece of camera?
Certainly.
Yeah.
So they started a party there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
How much were you involved in actually writing?
Yeah, me and I've done it with a dear friend, Lloyd Bradley, his name is.
Right.
and he's somebody that I've known for many, many, many years, and it was almost like therapy. It was like therapy speaking to him. He's an older guy to me, very respected older guy, and you know what I mean. He was able to help me